So we are back once again on the Undisputed GOAT podcast, man. I can just say, man, it's been a hell of a day thus far, man. It's been a hell of a day, man. We got the NFL off season. We got the NBA heating up. We got the return of Jason Tatum heating up and liven up. We still have the collective bargaining agreement with the WNBA that's set to expire tomorrow. We will get into that at another time. But as far as the Undisputed GOAT podcast, how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing all right. Work's still stressful, but good. Trying to get back to the gym. My daughter's hockey season, the regular season is coming to her normal season is coming to an end, and we're going right into spring league. So my schedule is going to adjust a little bit. It won't be as busy as my current schedule, but just my life is nothing but work right now and hockey, and I'm trying to get back to the gym a little bit. So, but life's good. Could be worse.
BRF.
Yeah, man, life is pretty good. We just enjoying this 3-day weekend. Go back at it tomorrow, but I mean, I can't complain. My been keeping track of what my youngest doing at West Virginia. She's living good. I can't complain. But you know what? I'm gonna change the show up a little bit, if you don't mind there, brother.
Oh shit, what the hell you got going on?
All right. So me and Flash, we've been kind of, and I know we've been talking about this with you as well, but I think me and Flash been mainly talking about this. Ladies and gents, to everybody following us, we have this idea of this new segment, and we kind of want to introduce it to y'all tonight. It's something different because, like I said, when I was doing this, when I kind of advertised the show, I said we're gonna kick it off with a little twist tonight. So we've been talking about, doing top 5 list or start bench cuts or whatever, just something different, something to bring a little freshness to the show. Because I got to say, as fun as it is to do the show and as good as the show is currently, it's always good to find something fresh and find something new to liven it up a little bit. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the very first edition of our start bench cuts.
Ooh.
And I gotta say, okay, so here we go.
Yes.
So I was kind of doing some research, and I was kind of looking at different things I wanted to talk about. So this one is going to be a baseball related start bench cut.
Okay.
I decided to pick 3 random, they are all like upper echelon as far as like greats of all time. So we're going to do a start bench cut of right-handed hitters. Start bench cut: Albert Pujols,
Okay.
Alex Rodriguez,
What in the hell?
Manny Ramirez.
What in the hell? What is that about? What that is, bro? What you got going on? Bro, that ain't right, bro. You got Albert Pujols, Manny, and A-Rod. You cannot possibly expect us to pick from something like that.
Hey, I mean, I have my answer, and my answer might shock you.
I'm starting Manny. I'm benching Albert. I'm benching Albert, and I'm cutting A-Rod.
Say what?
Ooh, his a little more spicy. His might be a little more spicy than mine. Ooh, I like it though.
Out of the 3 of them, who performed best in the playoffs?
I can see that, but
that's my thing. If we're talking pure regular season, I mean, A-Rod is one of the greatest. But Manny Ramirez is when people talk about the greatest hitters of all time, especially right-handed hitters, like he is oddly not talked about enough, I should say, especially for his playoff
Heroics.
Yes. So that's my start bench cut for that three.
Okay. Okay. All right. Champ, what you got for me,
Damn,
bro?
that's painful. You know what I mean, to be honest with you. But I'm going Pujols, A-Rod, then Manny.
Ooh,
Going
okay.
Pujols, A-Rod,
Okay.
then Manny.
All right. Reasoning behind it.
Number one, it's look. I'm just gonna be real. I'm compared to you guys as far as baseball knowledge. I'm a casual. I'm gonna just be real. Pujols is one of my favorite players, and look, that was one of the best power hitters of his generation. One of the best power hitters of his generation. A-Rod, although he was Mr. May, he could get you some home runs. And if we're gonna base it strictly off of accolades, as far as postseason is concerned, Big Poppy also played a role in that Boston Red Sox run that they had. So it was a combination of him and Big Poppy, not just Manny. And plus, Manny was kind of a malcontented at times. I understand people always say Manny gonna be Manny, but he was kind of a malcontented at times, and that's how come I really didn't care for Manny at that point. So Pujols, and plus Pujols was a model citizen. If I was gonna start a franchise out of all three of those guys, if I was gonna pick one guy to start a franchise with, out of all three of those guys, it'll have to be Pujols. I know ain't no bull job gonna be in the locker room. I know ain't no scandals gonna happen, and I know he's not gonna try to be as big as he was in the media. He was not this look at me type of guy. Pujols wasn't.
Agree.
So I gotta put Pujols up there, and especially when St. Louis hosted the All-Star game and he was the star.
Mm-hmm.
That was landmark. That was landmark. And I completely understood when he left and went to California because I won my World Series. I got my hits. Now it's time for me to get paid. It's time for me to get paid. Hey, when I won my championships and everything like that, and I bought a championship to a town that's as big in baseball as it is as far as St. Louis is concerned, which it's still an injustice, in my humble opinion, that St. Louis does not have a basketball franchise or football franchise at this point. But I digress. But for him to do what he did for that great city, that great sports town, as far as winning, and then the All-Star game, nothing short of amazing. And like I stated, if I had to pick any guy out of those three to start a team with for the next 20 years, no scandals, no bull jive. I know I'm going to win at least one, and I know that he's going to come up in the clutch, and he will be one of the sole reasons why. It'll have to be Pujols.
Okay.
I do think you could interchange. I like your point about how Albert Pujols was just like the model teammate. He was like the Tim Duncan of Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And I know I'm probably showing a little bit of bias because of the Boston Red Sox hat and saying Manny. It's not like Pujols was bad in the postseason. When he got there, he was great in the postseason. Manny just did it. Like he's first all time in home runs in Major League Baseball postseason. Has a World Series MVP. If you're starting a franchise though, then yeah, you have to go Pujols. Like you have, I think that's over Manny. Yes. Over A-Rod. I think this is a different discussion. Now we're.
That's why, with my start bench cut, if we're talking starting a franchise and you're looking at the totality of the player as far as what he did, I'm starting A-Rod. Because I look at it from the standpoint of he's the best two-way player out of all of them because of his defensive prowess playing at shortstop and at third base. And then on top of that, the offensive onslaught that he was able to put on throughout his career, and the fact that he was also early in his career, he was a really good base runner. He was a really good base stealer. He has a 40-40 year.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the player, the talent of the player itself. I'm starting A-Rod, but I'm still benching Pujols. I'm benching Pujols because at the end of the day, one of 4 players with 3,000 hits and 700 homers. I mean, come on, like that's instant Hall of Fame lock statue outside of Busch Stadium. That's just instant everything for Albert Pujols. And I look at man, and it's not cutting Manny Ramirez because he's a bad player by any stretch. I mean, he's arguably the greatest postseason hitter of all time. And in my opinion, when you look at a team like a franchise like the Cleveland Guardians, he's arguably the greatest prospect to ever come through that organization. So, I mean, I'm looking at it just from the standpoint of the totality of the player. So that's why I would start A-Rod, I would bench Pujols, and I would cut Manny.
So the thing that I'm going to say about starting a franchise with A-Rod and I go Pujols was A-Rod ever the face of a franchise?
Texas Rangers.
No. Well, the Texas Rangers. I'm talking about
that. But did you ask the face? You asked face of the franchise. You didn't say nothing about winning or nothing.
I mean, I'm talking about when you say face of the franchise, you have to incorporate winning with that. Because yes, you must. Because even when certain guys lose, there's some sort of winning that came with that.
I'll put it this way: I completely forgot he played for the Texas Rangers. Like it's a blip in. How long was he with the Rangers?
2000 to whenever he joined the Yankees.
Let's see.
And the thing is, the minute after he left, remember after he left, no bullshit. After he left, oh my bad, my fault, Flash. No bull job. The minute after he left, remember they had that commercial, and they did not expect this to happen. The minute after he left, remember the Texas Rangers was answering the phone. First place Texas Rangers. The minute after he left, they went to first place. Not granted, it was only for like 2-3 months, but it was still at first place.
He was there for 3 years.
But I mean,
so out of playing 1, 2, 3, 94 to 2004. So for playing 22 years, he was at 3 years at Texas. I can't to me to be like the face of a franchise, you got to be there for an extended period of time. Like you can't just be like
a blip on the map.
Yeah. So he wasn't the face of the franchise in Seattle. That was Ken Griffey Jr. And he definitely wasn't the face of the franchise with the Yankees. That was A-Rod. Or I'm sorry, that was Jeets. And which is part of the speculation on why Jeter or why that relationship was so weird. Especially early on until they finally won a World Series. But I like where Pujols was the face of the franchise. This is my awesome hockey playing daughter. So where Manny was he the face of the when he was?
He wasn't the face of the Boston Red Sox. That was Pedro.
That was Pedro.
No, I was going to say Cleveland. Was he at least there? Or is that Albert?
Albert Bell was there.
Well,
Albert
Bell was there.
But was he the face of the franchise, or was he more well known because of his ability and his temper?
I mean, Albert Bell. Honestly, even there, I still would consider Albert Bell their best player. Then still,
okay.
Even with the temper and the anger issues, the years Albert Bell was still putting up. He was still putting up monster numbers, but I mean, even though Manny was putting up sick numbers, Albert Bell was like, you could almost pencil him in for like 50, 130 with like a 290, 300 batting average. Like Albert Bell was like doing it in Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm looking up. I kind of want to see. Let's see his.
And while we're on the subject of baseball, the 20th anniversary of his death has just passed. On March 6th. Rest in peace and a happy birthday, I will say, to the great Kirby Puckett.
Good, yes, good job on that chance.
Second favorite player ever behind Ken Griffey Jr.
Good Good shout out on that.
Just third by Greg Maddox too, but loved Kirby Puckett.
Yeah,
good.
Love Kirby
Puckett.
Happy birthday to him.
One of the lines that still haunt me to this day, uttered by any commentator. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Yeah.
When he hit that walk-off in Game 6 for Minnesota against us.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, that was. We knew that shit was over with.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was over with after that.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the next. I didn't even watch the next game.
Yeah, you have a 3-2 lead, a shot to clinch.
Yeah,
you can't get it done. Yeah, we knew what Game 7 was going to be. Granted, it's one of the greatest Game 7s of all time, but we knew what was about to go.
Yeah, I ain't even watched that game. They said it's the greatest game. I ain't even watched. I already knew what was up.
Oh, it's easily one of the greatest Game 7s of all
against
time.
the Braves team is a lot of times we had Game 6, and we had a chance to close it out in Atlanta.
Yeah,
that's why I used to get so freaking angry when it came to the Braves in the 90s, because we had a chance to close it out in Atlanta. We not once, not twice, 3-4 times. I mean, I never forget when we came this close to beating the Yankees. I was like, we got them. And then in Atlanta, you down 3-2. Oh, we got them. I knew it. We got them. And nobody gets more happier when the Yankees lose, quite like I do. I love it when they do, but especially with my Braves people. I was like, oh, we got them. And then I blew a big old lead.
I don't think I will be like. I think I will never be fully complete as a baseball fan until the Braves get them in the World Series once. The Braves beat them in the World Series once. I think I will forever be complete as a baseball fan. There will still be a little piece missing with me as a baseball fan because we're 8-2 in World Series. We're 2-8 in World Series. Yeah, 2-8 in World Series games to get the Yankees in the 90s. So it's like there's a little bit of, even though we got 2 championships, one was Cleveland and one was Houston. So it's like that little hole is still there. We beat the Yankees in the World Series. I wouldn't want anything else.
I got them just once.
That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. Now, and I will say this though, I hear completely where you're coming from as far as the face of the franchise, but even still, I'm just looking at it from the totality of the player and the talent of the player. That's why I went with that.
It's an argument. I get your argument because I remember a guy that I used to work with a long time ago. He was from Chicago. I mean, massive Bulls fan. You know, our age range. Michael Jordan was, Black Jesus to everything. Like was everything to him. And we always would get in basketball discussions with like a bunch of us. And one of the topics always came, if you could start a franchise with anybody, who would it be? And he always argued Shaq over Jordan because of
that's a good argument.
Because of the pure dominating nature of Shaq. And I always would argue like, well, he didn't take care of himself. He couldn't hit free throws, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, at the end of the day, you're starting from a position of like you have to bet on that you can fix that with him because of the sheer talent, like the pure. Because prime Shaq, like prime LA, like 01, 02 Shaq is the most dominant force we've ever seen, probably on any type of court or field. Like unstoppable force. Like there's nothing you could do. Like you had to change this whole set of rules just for him.
I was trying to think about anybody else that might come close, and I can't think of anybody else.
The only person that comes close in that sheer aspect would be Lawrence Taylor, where he literally restructured rosters, which is what Shaq did. You literally had to have like 3 to 5 bigs just for fouls.
Yeah, you had to have goons for him. You had to have goons.
And they didn't even have to be good at basketball.
No.
It's just big bodies.
They just big bodies.
You had to literally, if you were any kind of contender, you literally had to adjust your whole. You couldn't go searching for basketball talent. You literally had to just go get fouls. That's what you were recruiting for.
And I think you bringing up the Lawrence Taylor point is awesome. Yeah, because I think he's probably the closest you're going to get as far as like any dominant period. Because like what you were talking about, like they literally changed the way offenses were called in terms of before Lawrence Taylor, you never had to worry about scheming your offensive line protections towards one guy. As soon as Lawrence Taylor was made, you're immediately please make sure he doesn't get there, like chip blocks and all this stuff.
The whole reason there's a 2 tight end formation now
is because of him. Because of him.
So that's the thing. Like I would say NFL wise, I think Reggie White in his peak in like 86, 87 was as dominant as Lawrence Taylor too. But that's a discussion for another day. But that's the only thing that I can kind of compare this to when it comes to like when you're saying like just if you're taking A-Rod as a pure prospect, you have to pick him. Like so I get what you're saying. Like you kind of, even though he's awkward and weird and you know,
yeah.
And
there have been
postseason problems.
Yeah.
But on sheer
talent and
you're like, I can fix that.
Yeah.
You almost have to take it, which is why that was such a great argument from a guy that loved Jordan as much as I love Brady. So like it was just so I always love that argument. It's an argument. I heard that argument literally like 15 or 16 years ago. So like that argument has stuck with me forever.
Oh,
it's your argument.
I still stand by the draft idea. If you had the choice of either the generational wing or the generational big, and they're coming out in the same draft, I'm taking the big number one.
At the time, absolutely.
Even though I don't, because
it's changed a lot. But
it's changed.
Now more than ever, it's gone back from being played from the outside in to the inside out. It had those brief years where you had to be just a brutal 3-point shooter, and centers were kind of obsolete. Just like the NFL had its run where the running back position was becoming kind of obsolete because they were passing the damn ball. They was airing it out like a ceiling fan at a certain point. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's like I say, I'm not too hard upon Ben Simmons because, you know, he got the heaps at a certain point because guess what? I'm not a good 3-point shooter. That's not my game. I'm an explosive guard that knows how to pass and do a lot of other things. Now, granted, he could have did a lot more in order to improve his game, develop a better mid-range, develop a little bit more of a post game and things of that nature, and learn how to shoot free throws. But guess what? I believe that he was just a little bit behind the times. Had he been in the 90s or today, had we had peak Ben Simmons today or in the 90s, guess what? He would have lasted. But because he wasn't a great 3-point shooter and he wasn't, you know, another Steph Curry. Steph Curry's and teams like that, they come around every generation, and it's rare that you find them. I mean, when you think about the Golden State Warriors, the first thing you think about is Steph Curry and the Warriors, but you also think about how unconventional their teams was. You think about jump shooting, and then you think about in earlier years, you think about Run TMC. So,
and also the reason why I still kind of stand by that to a certain extent as far as the big is concerned. I feel the bigs, the really good bigs, I feel they're easier to build around as opposed as the wings. Because my thing is with the big, if you know they're going to get their scoring, the only thing you really need to gauge and build around as far as like their playmaking ability, because that's one thing they usually always don't necessarily talk about with Shaq, was how good of a passer he was and how good he was as far as kicking out to open guys in order to get them threes. I think to an extent it's easier to build around a big as opposed to a wing, because for me, the important thing as far as like that wing is concerned is what kind of center, what kind of big fits as far as his play style, as far as what he likes to do. Like, say if you have like a Trae Young, you need someone who's good at like screens, pick and roll, and all stuff like that.
Fits.
Yeah, exactly. Alley-oops and stuff like that. A guy, like you have a guy like Steph, it's almost like you need a guy, you need a big on a team with Steph Curry. You need him to have a little bit of spacing in order for him to let Steph be able, for his gravity to really like take heed for him to be able to do what he can do.
But that's why Draymond Green has mattered to that Golden State team more than almost any other player besides Steph. It's why they've held on to him amongst, not to mention all the problems and everything. But I mean, the way that he allows Steph Curry to be a Steph Curry is something that's not talked about enough as I like to call a schmedium big man. Yeah. He's not really a big man. He's a schmedium big man.
He could play power. He could play power on point forward and allow Steph to play off ball and do his thing.
Yes. So it and not to mention, like, he doesn't have to play in the paint. So just like you're saying, like he can play point forward, even not just point forward, but the ability to do the dirty things, to set screens, to rotate with the ball, to rotate as the play. Like he just allows that team to do so many things. And when it was Steph and Clay, do so many things that's it's almost invaluable. But to your point, Champ, about Ben Simmons, I think Ben Simmons just went to the wrong team. If you get him, if he's drafted in the 80s, is he, Magic Johnson with less offense and literally a better defense? Yes, but I mean that's lofty praise. But yeah, essentially like the game style would be him. But honestly, like you put him with Phil Jackson, and you put him in the triangle, like he should be Scotty.
He should be Scottie Pippen.
He should have been Scotty. Like he should have been sort of a point forward, but like an extended wing guy, but not depending where the offense is going completely through him. Like that's the thing. It's like that's why getting to the right coach or right franchise matters so much. Mm-hmm. Like it's such a valuable thing. So,
man, what a hell of a discussion. Hell of a job, BRF. This is why I enjoy working with these two great gentlemen, along with the great PSP. Shout out to PSP. I'm gonna get you about the videos, though. I'm gonna get you.
Oh, I didn't already let him hear about the video, boy. He already know. Already know
about the video. But on that note, man, look, let's get into this pigskin, baby. That pigskin has been reigning supreme all day long. I mean, all day long. So I have to ask y'all this, man, right now. Who's winning the offseason?
I mean, Vegas. Look at what they did today. Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Tyler Lindenbaum. It's Vegas. I mean, and I do like what Tennessee did as well. They got Wandale Robinson. They basically got 5 starters. Yeah. I mean, they basically got 5 starters today as well. I can't remember all the names, but I feel like the one I remembered offhand was Wandale Robinson. Really good underrated receiver from the New York Giants. They signed him. But Vegas, like I said, Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Tyler Lindenbaum.
Jalen Naylor.
Yeah, Jalen Naylor,
Malcolm Kreese, and they traded for Tyron Johnson.
Yeah, got a safety on Taron Johnson from Buffalo. I definitely think right now for me is Vegas. Just like, and the thing is, we wouldn't even thinking that we were going to be saying this like a week ago, but it kind of makes sense with the amount of salary cap space that they had to spend in the offseason. You kind of had a feeling Vegas was going to make a splash, but to do everything that they've done today alone, like for me, they instantly jumped to the top as far as like who's winning the off-season sweepstakes right now. Like Vegas was like, and here's the thing though, in Baltimore, you got to shout out the Baltimore Ravens for acquiring Maxx Crosby in that trade. You definitely have to shout them out amongst other teams that are making moves. You got to shout out the LA Rams. Man, they snagged 2 of KC's corners. Not only did they get Trent McDuffie, but today they got Jalen Watson, who I just brought up yesterday on the PSP show. They signed Jalen Watson today. So I mean,
and it gets worse. They still got that. They still got the 14th pick.
And they got the 14th pick in the draft too.
They still
So
got
it's
the 14th
like,
pick. And look, don't be surprised if they swing that pick, if they trade that pick, because like we was talking about on the other podcast, the Censored podcast, you know, the LA Rams quick to say F them picks.
yeah,
They
are.
quick to say F them picks. So
Yeah.
I mean,
If they can swing it, if they can swing it from another, if they can swing it for another quality, level NFL starter, oh yeah, they'll turn that 14 pick into something. They are not above it. But yeah, for me right now, even with moves, I think just the depth of the moves the Vegas Raiders did today, I think they vaulted. I think I probably would have said the Rams or the Ravens before what the Raiders did today. Yeah. That shocked me. The amount of quality names that the Vegas Raiders were able to land today, and I think with them signing Tyler Lindenbaum, I think you have to draft Fernando Mendoza now. I think you have to.
Yeah.
I think you have to.
I really
because now you're building the offensive line, and now you got his guy at center to protect him. I think you almost have to take Fernando Mendoza now.
Yeah, and you have the little pacifier, what I like to call it. You have a pacifier at tight end from UGA, by the way, in the form of Brock Bowers. So you have a running back there that can kind of. I think I don't know what they're going to do as far as because he said he wants a two-back system. Clay Kubiak did. He said he wanted a two-back system. He wants one bad. So I don't know who you're going to bring in at this point because J.K. Dobbins, he just got signed by the Denver Broncos. He just got re-signed by the Denver Broncos. The Super Bowl MVP was just signed by the Kansas City Chiefs. So that was interesting right there.
Every time you think they about to go down, they pull something like that. Then it's like, oh, look, there they go again.
So they signed him in free agency for over $43 million. So I have to say the Raiders are winning, but don't discount what the Swifties are doing out there in Kansas City. Don't discount what they're doing at this point because they have a lot of picks available. They may not have a salary cap at this point that's worth a darn right now, but they know how to draft. And I believe that once they get a solid offensive line, they'll be able to get a lot of other players there. So once they get a solid offensive line, they'll be able to get a lot more. Now, one thing that shocked me today, and then I'll let you go, Flash. One thing that has shocked me thus far is that Trey Hendricks is still on the board. As well as Kyler Murray. He's still on the board. So those two big names that we thought was just going to go day one, those names are still on the board at this point, and that kind of shocks me if you really want me to be honest with you.
The lack of Kyler Murray action doesn't shock me at all. I said it a week or two ago or whenever it was that if I was a coach or a team, I thought that he would last. That he's going to end up going to a team like San Francisco or the Rams and some place to sit for a while and learn the game because and stop playing Call of Duty. It's what he needs. I'm not shocked that he doesn't have a lot of action on him. The Hendricks thing, I'm a little bit more shocked by just because good quality pass rushers are hard to come by. That could just be a him thing too on picking where he wants to go. So there's been a little New England, that there's that kind of into play. So that one surprised me, but the Kyler Murray thing doesn't surprise me at all.
Really?
I don't. It's like I said. I said it a couple weeks ago. I go somewhere where you're going to sit for a little bit. You got them. You already got a big contract. You can afford to sit for a year or go to a team that go to Chicago, back up Caleb Williams for a year, learn from Ben Johnson. Go to the Rams, back up Stafford, learn from, do basically what Baker Mayfield did or Sam Darnold. Exactly. That's the thing. His attitude in PR. He will last until this is my. I know, Champ, you don't like this. He's being humbled right now.
That's fair.
He's being humbled. All right, we'll sit back, and then once the smoke kind of clears and everything out, then watch. He'll get, like I said, he'll get signed by the Rams, or he'll get signed by a team that But I just hope he doesn't. I don't want him to go to the Jets. If you want him to succeed, he needs to sit and be a student.
I'm gonna give a little pushback, not much, because his attitude and PR has not helped him one bit. No. I will give a little pushback from the standpoint. I think him being cut by the Arizona Cardinals, I think that should have done it. I think he's been humbled. Just being cut by the Arizona Cardinals. That letter he put out saying, Arizona, I failed you. I think he's already been humbled. Because I don't think you necessarily put a letter out like that if you know you had the world in the palm of your hands and it's your fault that you lost it.
That's great that you put out a letter. That's fine. But now you need to learn the game. Now you need to. That's a good first step. Now you need to go sit and learn the game from
be a more cooperative player.
Yeah,
because you saw what happened when Cliff Kingsbury got a more cooperative quarterback.
Yeah, words are one thing. Show me. It's when this is a different kind of example. Like the situation was way different, but when Michael Vick got out of prison, and Tony Dungy at the time was his mentor. And he was going to go. I forgot originally what team he was going to go sign for. And Tony Jones you're not. He was going to go sign with the Raiders or something like that. And Tony Jones no, you're not. You're going to go to Philadelphia. You're going to go sit under Andy Reid. You're going to sit there. You're going to learn. You're going to learn how to play the game of football. And it was one of the best things that could have happened to Michael Vick. And I think again, completely different situation, but in the aspect of you need to sit and learn the game. You need to not take the paycheck if you want to be successful. Go to where I'm a huge believer, whether it's me as management, like at my job or in any kind of sport, your job is to put people or players in the best position for them to succeed. And that is also on you to choose the best position on where you're going to succeed. And he needs to do that. Him going to the Jets and taking a big payday or whatever is not the answer. That's that's just not a good idea.
And why the hell would you want to go to the Jets anyway?
What?
And why the hell would you want to go to the Jets anyway?
That's my point. If you go, it's like the Myles Garrett thing. You whined because you weren't winning, and then you took the money. Well, now I don't want to hear you whine anymore. You know what Cleveland is. They've been that way since forever. So. Especially
since they were brought back.
Yeah, except for a couple decent seasons here and there. And I use the word decent very loosely, but so you again. So this is the letter's fine. That's a good step in the right direction. Now you need to make good choices. So I like Kyler Murray. I want him to succeed, but he's got to make the right choices. So like I said. Go to Chicago, go under Ben Johnson. Go to the Rams, be under Sean McVay. Go to Seattle and back up Darnold for a little bit. Go to here's a good idea. The Green Bay Packers, we're talking about free agency. The Green Bay Packers just lost their backup, Malik Willis. Look what the Packers organization did for Malik Willis. And Matt LaFleur. Look what that franchise in general has done for quarterbacks in general. Not
Matt
just
Hasselbeck.
Matt Hasselbeck.
Mark Brunell.
Aaron Rodgers. Malik Willis. They've turned out backups into starters, and so they again make a good choice. Go to the Chiefs. Back up Mahomes. Do something. Do make a choice. So that's my point with Colin Murray. Now, to the original thing of who I think the winner is, I'm going to go a little different route just because I don't want to pick the same you guys did. I kind of like what Houston's done. I like the David Montgomery trade. You get rid of an offensive lineman, which your offensive line sucks anyway, so whatever. You basically got him for a bag of chips. You got Dalton Schultz on the 1-year extension. They re-signed Trent Brown for a 1-year deal. Pretty on the cheap. That's pretty good. I just kind of like what they've done. It's a lot of little small. They got Reed Blankenship on a 3-year deal. It's a lot of small, but it's depth, and I like the Montgomery thing. I just wish they would have done a little bit more because they re-signed guys on the offensive line. I wish they would have done a little bit more on the offensive line side. Now, again, we don't know if they didn't, like they reached out and players said no, but that's my only thing. I also really, really, really like the Bills trading for DJ Moore. Yeah. I love that trade. I think my prediction last week or the week before was Tyreek Hill was going to go to Buffalo. I like this way better for the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen and the franchise. I think that was a great move. They re-signed Connor McGovern as well. They got their safety, Sam Franklin, under a 3-year deal. I really like it's just 3 moves, but I really love the DJ Moore move. I think he's a perfect fit there. Bravo to the Buffalo Bills. So I'm hoping that really works out. So those are my 2. It's not the amount for Buffalo, but I really love that trade.
All right. What are your thoughts on Maxx Crosby going to the Ravens? I'll give my opinion first. The defense outside of this year was never the problem. If you really want me to be honest with you, they just added another big piece that's going to help them. They've already got – it wasn't the defense last year. It was the scheme. Mike McDonald left and took that scheme that was heavy blitz, that was heavy pressure, and he took that with him to the Seattle Seahawks, and as a result, they got a Super Bowl, and you were able to see the difference in scheme between their Mike McDonald and their, the now gone defensive coordinator. I don't think that the defense was ever the problem. Now, is Maxx Crosby going to make a difference? Is he going to be a needle mover? Yes, indeed. Because now he has Kyle Van Noy as well as Justin Metabupe when he's healthy. Then you have Raekwon Smith. You have a lot of headhunters out there that are going to keep the attention kind of off you at a certain point. It's kind of hard to block Justin Metabupe and Maxx Crosby. It's very, very hard. And they haven't even entered the draft as of yet. Because we know last year they had a hell of a draft with Mike Brown and a lot of those other guys that they drafted last year. So those guys have not been developed as of yet. I think the main problem is you're going to have to replace Tyler Lindenbaum as far as the offensive line is concerned. Quarterback cannot throw on his back. So losing a center and a big piece like that is going to be very, very hard to replace. You need a wide receiver. Isaiah Likely just signed with another team today. I forget what team.
Signed with the Giants.
He signed with the New York Giants. So New York Giants, guess what? They're going to have weapons galore next season as far as Jackson Dart is concerned. And you got to worry about another receiver. You got to worry about offensive line, receiver, tight end. And you have to worry about a contingency plan just in case the wheels fall off of Derrick Henry again. We've seen it before. You can't keep relying on him and giving him that ball 30, 40 times a game and expect something not to happen. And if the entire staff had came back this year, if Harbaugh, Todd Monken, and even Mike McDonald had been back this year, and Mike McDonald hadn't jumped ship and went out there to Seattle and won a Super Bowl, if those key factors was there, I would be willing to put them in Super Bowl contention. But right now, a lot of the coaching that they have on this staff is unproven. A lot of the coaching that they have on this staff is very much unproven. So I don't know how to receive them as far as coaching is concerned. If they had a well-established coach there, like if they would have traded for Tomlin, bought him there, and there was a whole lot of there was defensive coordinators or offensive coordinators that were going to deliver, and Todd Monken had come back, I could say this team's in good hands, Super Bowl. But coaching matters. Coordinators matters. Scheme matters. And you can put all the greatest players of all time in one big box, and if you don't have the correct scheme in order for them to succeed, you're not going to do anything. So as bad as I want Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens to be in a situation to where, yes, they're considered contenders, I don't know what this coaching staff is going to do and how they are going to react and how they're going to put schemes together. If it had been Harbaugh, McDonald, and Todd Monken, yes, I'm sold. But there's no Harbaugh, there's no Todd Monken, and there's no Mike McDonald. And as you saw, that defense last year was terrible last year. So I'm not ready to just give them the farm as of yet with all the horses and the chickens because of coaching and scheme. And if you really want me to be honest with you, the problem in the playoffs was never the defense. It was always them coming up short on the offensive side of the ball, whether it be drop passes, whether it be turnovers, whether it be fumbles, whether it be what have you. Defense has never been the problem with Baltimore with the exception of last year. It's always been the offensive side of the ball that has came up short in the playoffs and crunch time. That is my take.
There's not much I can really add to that. It's just basically can they get the scheme right? The drop off after McDonald left was just massive. It was just such a free fall of talent that of just scheme. It's just baffling to me to go from that good to that bad. I mean, they were one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Like, it was that bad. So will Maxx Crosby? I'm a little surprised it was Baltimore, actually. We heard Green Bay, Dallas. Those are the two big ones. We heard a little bit of New England here and there. But I mean, there was a story that came out that Brady refused to trade him to New England. I don't know why. But I always think that there's just I think stories like that come out just because Brady's a hot button issue. But whatever. I am curious. I think Baltimore is the most interesting team going into this offseason and then going into the new season. Does getting rid of John Harbaugh reignite this roster and franchise, or does it continue the just burnout where the window was there, it was missed, it's kind of over? So that's a really curious thing for me right now going into this offseason. I think they're the most interesting team, just from a franchise point of view. So I'm curious to see how this rest of the offseason, how their draft plays out, and then what they do going into the season, like what their training camps like, how this new staff takes over. So I'm curious, but I mean, he's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. He's like what, third or fourth, probably.
Yeah.
So, it never hurts to add that kind of talent.
I talked about it. I talked about it on PSP shows yesterday. I kind of gave my take on it yesterday. Just on a personnel level, I like it from a standpoint of what he's going to do for the rest of that defense. Him being with him and Metabuke, and hopefully, like I said about I feel like the X factor for me with the pass rush is Mike Green, and can he take that next step? The defensive end out of Marshall who they drafted. I think for me, he's like an X factor because if he can develop and really kind of show off his athleticism and his powers of being able to get to the quarterback, I think that pass rush can really take off. But like I talked about yesterday, I think Maxx Crosby, if he can get to if he can help as far as like the pass rush, as far as getting to the quarterback, the Baltimore Ravens were ranked 31st in sack rate. I think it was only like a 4.6% sack rate. They were 31st in the league. So if he's getting to the quarterback like I stated yesterday, he's speeding up the quarterback's clock. He's making them throw off. He's not being able to really keep rhythm as far as like his throws. You throwing everything off. That allows for Malachi Starks. That allows for Kyle Hamilton. That allows for Nate Wiggins to really do their thing on the back end, because if quarterback's not throwing on time, then that gives those guys way more ample opportunities to to get interceptions and change field position. So I really feel like that's what Max Crosby's presence is going to do for that defense in terms of the totality, from the defensive end, the defensive line, to the linebacker core, to the secondary. But that was a good point you made as far as the coaching, because this is Jesse Minter now. This is Jesse Minter, the new head coach for the Ravens. He's a defensive coordinator by trade. So this is pretty much him, in order to really mesh his personnel with his scheme, what he ran in LA, what he's bringing to Baltimore. I think there's similar personnel there with Baltimore as it was with the LA Chargers. So I think he could probably bring his scheme in with the personnel there, and hopefully be able to kind of be in it for it to be able to mesh in order for it to be able to work. But yeah, I definitely agree with y'all. I think the biggest thing was the scheme, because they just looked completely out of whack last year. I think they were like 17, 18 points allowed, 24th in total yards allowed. I mean, just that's not the Baltimore Ravens defense we've been accustomed to seeing the last 5+ years or so. They're usually no worse than top 10 as far as just impact and being able to play, as far as being able to affect field position, turnovers, you name it. The Baltimore Ravens were just one of the better defenses in the league at it. So that was just very, very un-Baltimore defense-like. So I'm definitely intrigued to see what Jesse Minter is going to do for this team. But just like I said, I think Maxx Crosby, just on his impact alone, as far as the rest of the personnel on his defense, I think, like I said, he's going to help. He should open that defense up in order to make more plays. But the biggest thing is, if Jesse Minter can get that scheme, can come in, bring his scheme, and then get the players to mesh into this scheme, I feel like with the way the AFC North is looking right now at this point in time, I don't see any reason why the Baltimore Ravens, as currently constructed, should not win this division. But I will say this, though, Cincinnati signing Boye Mafe today, good job. About time you get some pass rush there. About time you get some pass rush in Cincinnati. You need it. So I think signing him, I think, is definitely the biggest nail as far as like Trey Hendrickson not coming back. So that's him. You got Shamar Stewart. You hope you get a little more, you get some development. You hope he takes a step for that pass rush in Cincinnati. But I just feel like the way Baltimore's constructed, they should be the favorites to win that division. But like I said, it's on Jesse Minter to make this work as far as talent on that team.
I don't think Baltimore's winning that division because of how great they are. I think they're just winning by default because the rest of the division is not that great.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're just better than everybody else.
Yeah, they are. They're just better. I am curious how, like I said, does overturning the longest tenured coach besides Tomlin, how does that go? So, but I guess we'll wait to see.
Mm.
Yep. Trent McDuffie. Not just him, but if both of the star corners from the Kansas City Chiefs going to the Rams, is it just a foregone conclusion that they're going to win the NFC at this point? Because they're coming into a defense where they have a top 10 defense already. And they still have that 14th overall pick. Somebody could fall to them that can be very, very instrumental to that team. Not to mention the offense is already set. You already have Blake Corum. You already have Devontae Adams. You already have Puka Nacua. You already have the offensive line in place, things of that nature. You kind of see the 49ers kind of faltering at this point. And if they lose Trent Williams, it's really going to take a dip. I really feel like that if they lose Trent Williams, it's really going to take a dip. Seattle, they've lost a lot of key players. And when you think about Arizona, in the great words of 50 Cent, you ain't going nowhere. So at this point in time, I really think it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to win that division this year. And I'm just going to be very, very honest with you. It's Super Bowl or bust this year with them. It's Super Bowl or bust. If you really, really look at it, a lot of teams in the NFC have question marks. Think about Detroit. Been contenders for years. Question marks. You know, they lost a few offensive linemen. They've lost David Montgomery, the Thunder, to Jameer Gibbs' Lightning. You know, they've lost their coordinators. They've lost a lot. You think about the Minnesota Vikings. Question marks. Who's your quarterback? You're going to bring in Kyler Murray, or you're going to let JJ tough it out? You think about Green Bay. Question marks there. They just lost Rashad Gary. They just lost their star linebacker. They just lost him. If you think about, there's still questions. A lot of people still make questions about Jordan Love. Just being honest. If you think about the NFC South.
I don't even want to talk about the NFC South.
So many questions about the NFC South. That's where I'm going. NFC South. When you think about the NFC East, it seems like the Eagles are losing a lot of key players. And if they lose Jalen Carter this offseason, that's going to end up being a big blow. And it seems like don't know offensive coordinator worth his salts wants to go up there at this point. It seems like that
he signed Jordan. Oh, it's Jordan Davis.
Yeah, it was Jordan Davis that signed.
Yeah,
Jordan Davis got signed. Jalen Carter, he hasn't signed yet.
He hasn't signed it. Yep, you're right.
So there's question marks there. Questions about the Washington Commanders, their offensive line, their ability to protect Jaden Daniels. Can Jaden Daniels repeat his rookie year, or will he end up being another CJ Stroud? So when you think about the Cowboys, the drama, thus far they haven't had any drama. They've been on the ball this offseason, but you got to think about the drama that comes along with the Cowboys. You think about the Giants. Can they be a dark horse playoff team? There's a lot of questions in the NFC at this point, and the only team, if you really want me to be honest, where you can say, I can look at this team and there's not a question in my mind that they're going to be damn good this year. The coaching is there. The stability is there. The quarterback is there. The offense is there. The defense is there. The Rams is there. And I am picking them as my offseason pick in order to say, hey, they're going to win the NFC. They will end up in the Super Bowl as a home game this year. They will end up in the Super Bowl this year.
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion yet. Should they be favored? Absolutely, but I don't think it's a foregone conclusion yet because I know Seattle has lost some players, but I mean, if going into late, like last season, going into the playoffs, Zach Charbonnet was really about to supplant Kenneth Walker as the number one before he got hurt, and then Kenneth Walker just caught lightning in the bottle and reminded everybody who he was. But Zach Charbonnet was really starting to show himself late 2025 before he got injured. So, and I mean, you still have JSN. I mean, I think keeping Rashid Shaheed there was a really good move. Rashid Shaheed opened up like everything. As far as he was great for special teams, but having him like in the slot opened up so much as far as that offense go. You couldn't bracket, you couldn't just double team JSN anymore. You had another speed demon in Shaheed to have to worry about. In the defense, I mean, you still have Eamon Warrior, you still have Devin Witherspoon, you still have Draymond Jones, you still have Leonard Williams. I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion that LA Rams are going to win this. That are going to win the NFC West. I still think Seattle can get them in that division. I don't think it's foregone conclusion there because Seattle, they have their key pieces. And I think this is where Mike McDonald can really earn his bread as far as like being able to find pieces in order to mesh with who's already there in order to really kick it into another gear and go for another championship. So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that the Rams are going to win it.
I don't either. Seattle's one of the best drafting franchises we have right now.
They've been for the better part of a decade.
Yeah, even I could go back. We could go back longer.
Longer than that.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a foregone conclusion the Rams are going to win this division. Do I think the Rams are the favorites currently right now? Sure, but I wouldn't
even go that far yet, to be honest with you. Still, I still like Seattle.
I do
like
too.
Seattle.
I'm just saying, like, it on paper. If you want to just argue on paper right now, sure. But the defense now in Seattle is better. I mean, I know they added the 2 corners, but I still think the front 7 is way better. I mean, if you want to go like position for position right now, I think I think Stafford's better than Darnold. I think, but it's not by a ton. But I mean, just present day right now, Stafford's better than him.
Yeah.
Offensive line, I'd probably give to the Rams by a hair. Running back right now, I'd probably give it to the Rams. I know I would give it to the Rams. Seattle's big problem when it comes to running backs is they've just never been able to stay healthy. Both Walker got healthy at the right time during the offseason or during the postseason. So honestly, moving on from him is not that big of a deal. Yes, he's a Super Bowl MVP, but he was never healthy. Ask any fantasy owner right now that even had him for a year, and he was never healthy. So if they can go out and draft a running back this year that is good, I mean, our offensive line was like putting holes in the Super Bowl like it was nothing, like it was Swiss cheese after they got rolling. So I agree with BRF. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion at all. I think San Francisco. I do like the Mike Evans addition. I think that's a really good fit for them. I mean, it's Mike Evans, is a Hall of Fame wide receiver. I mean, not a bad fit, but I just don't. They're not on par with. They'll play them both hard, but they're not right on par right now with Seattle or the Rams right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Champ's right when it comes to the rest of the NFC right now. Philly's got all that drama shit going on. They still got the AJ Brown shit going on. They just did, they're like the crazy ex that just kind of like won't go away. You're like, all right, maybe no, fuck, no, I guess not.
I see the good in them.
Yeah, I see the good in him. I
see the good in him.
I'm gonna tell you what I told this girl one time. I see some good with him. Shit, what you see with him? A rematch?
Oh no!
I'm just asking.
Hey.
You see the good in him? What you see in him? A rematch?
I do like what Dallas has done. I like how that they traded Parsons away, and right now that Parsons trade is looking like it was the smart thing to do.
It was a smart thing to do.
Which I just want to say that I argued that, and I was the only one on this. Basically, I was the only one that said it was a good idea.
Yeah, so, I didn't really look. When you lose a big time pass rusher, that's a thing. That's a big thing for me. That's why I brought up the Rashad Gary thing. Because although he's not a needle mover, like what the hell? What's going on, Bjorn?
Oh, I'm watching Raw, and Finn Balor just Pele kicked the life out of Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, the babyface turn?
Okay. Yeah. Well, they're finally doing it.
Dom is cursed. So but yeah,
I mean, hell, every time he gets quote unquote cursed to get another girlfriend.
They're doing the Balor face turn because JD just clothesline Finn. Yep, Balor face turn.
So,
but to go back to the original question as far as like McDuffie to the Rams, it's a great move for the Rams.
Yeah,
just because like I said, a lot of this stuff I'd already talked about on PSP shows yesterday. So just kind of give like little cliff notes, just like I like because I mean the thing with the Rams were they gave up I think their Achilles heel was they did give up a few too many big plays. Like they were ranked 19th, I believe, in the league as far as like passing yards allowed. But I think what I like doing research and reading up and stuff like that, I think the bigger tell as far as like how good of a pass defense is like the DVOA stat, and it measures like your down and distance as far as basically like when are you giving this stuff up. And the Rams were really efficient defense as far as like certain situations when offenses are making these plays against them, not always necessarily in big time situations. So Trent McDuffie is just going to add another level of that, like between him and now you have Jalen Watson. And then you saw how Emmanuel Forbes basically kind of had himself a breakout year in 2025. I definitely like what I see with the LA Rams secondary. So I like what Trent McDuffie is going to bring as far as like his physicality. He's a really good tackling corner. I mean, he's obviously proven that he's a number one, that he can lock up your best dude. He's proven that time and time again with the Kansas City Chiefs. So I think what this does, this allows someone like Emmanuel Forbes, he doesn't have to worry about guarding the ones anymore. He can guard some twos and some threes. You put Trent McDuffie on your best dude. It's basically matchups. It's matchups. And it just allows that secondary depth to really show its head, having a guy like Emmanuel Forbes. And now you have Jalen Watson. You could probably put Forbes in the slot. You might have Forbes on the other side. You put Watson in the slot. You got Trent McDuffie guarding the ones. It just makes that secondary that much more dangerous with the LA Rams. So just thoughts alone, it's going to allow that secondary depth to really show. As far as bringing in a guy like Trent McDuffie, you can do so much more with that defense now, having somebody like him in there.
All right. I think we can all agree that when it comes to who's the bigger contender on paper, we will have to say the Rams, right?
Yeah. Seattle?
Out of Baltimore and the Rams.
Oh yeah. There's way too many question marks in Baltimore right now, like by far. The only reason that Baltimore is even gonna win that division is because the rest of the division stinks for the most part. Like the Browns stink. Cincinnati, it depends.
They're the one team I think that can give Baltimore fits.
If they get a average defense, they're a playoff team. Just an average defense, and if they can keep Burrow healthy, obviously, those are two big ifs. That's the problem. And then Pittsburgh. I like what they've done. I like the Michael Pittman trade. I don't like them letting Kenneth Gainwell walk though. No, and the fact that your season hinges on whether Aaron Rodgers at 94 years old, comes out with a walker and puts the acid down for a second. If that's what your season is hinging on, is I'm sorry, but like that doesn't make me feel good. So that doesn't make me. So I as much and then look, I'm not a Mike McCarthy hater like a lot of Wisconsinites and stuff like that, and a lot of people in general, but I just think that was. I mean, I know he's a Pittsburgh native, but I don't know, man. It just seemed like that was such a desperate move. And it's so un-Pittsburgh Steeler-like. So, as an organization for the past 70 years. And so that's just a weird situation. So I think Baltimore, yes, I don't even think, like I can, like if I look at the teams right now in the league or in the AFC who I feel like are bigger contenders right now than them. I think Buffalo is. I think New England is. I think Houston is with that defense as much as the offense scares me. I think Indy before Daniel Jones went down was like a really, really, really good football team. I think the Broncos are. I know everybody's down on the Chiefs, including me, but I still think the Chiefs are a bigger contender right now than even Baltimore is. Just even though the Chiefs have a lot of questions too, they don't have a whole new coaching staff to question. They still have Andy Reid as their coach.
You're true, but that still hinders on when Patrick Mahomes comes back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's true.
Kansas. I think 2020. Right. I think 2026 for Kansas City.
You're done. Yeah, you're right.
With Mahomes' injury, I'm wiping KC off the map for 2026.
I completely forgot that he was.
Yeah, 2027, he comes back like healthy. They are right back in it, but 2026, nah. That hinders too much on Patrick Mahomes' knee. Nah, I don't like doing it with KC because it is KC, but I'm kicking him out the door.
Dude, looking at the AFC right now, the AFC is rough.
Mm.
Like Yeah, it's rough, man. Like, I don't trust Houston. I don't trust. I mean, as much as I like Indy with Daniel Jones, because I think, do you trust them? No. You definitely don't trust the Jaguars, even though they made a big leap.
They gave Alec Pierce $114 million, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Can you imagine what they're going to have to give JSN now?
Bro, and don't get me wrong, I like Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce had one of those like anomaly type seasons, 47 catches for 1,003 yards. I mean, he had one of them anomaly type seasons. But 4 years, $114 million to keep him. JSN, like you said, JSN probably looking at that. He's licking his chops.
Yeah, that's market resetting deal.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead. I'm done.
Gotta say that. Gotta ask this: is Ravens versus Rams Super Bowl exactly what the NFL needs right about now?
Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait. What do you mean by need? Why would you need it?
Not you have the glamour team in Baltimore. You have the glamour team in Los Angeles. They're both playing in Los Angeles. You have the quarterback of the past versus the quarterback of the future. We've seen this before. We've seen this whole, past versus future type of thing. We saw it in the form of Tom Brady versus Matt Ryan. We saw it in the form of Peyton Manning versus Cam Newton. We saw it in the form of those guys, guys who won the MVP, wasn't quite good enough to get over the hump. Now you're over the hump. But unfortunately for you, it's up against a proven winner. And what can you do against it? And you're finally over the hump at this point. You're finally over the hump. Matthew Stafford, you're on your last leg, so to speak, I would say. You may have a few years left. But these are two glamour teams, two glamour quarterbacks, still two of the top quarterbacks in the league, two of the best teams on paper, although Baltimore has question marks. St. Louis, Los Angeles Rams, they don't. As far as the entertainment value, it's just the Super Bowl that they need. I'm just talking about strictly entertainment.
I know, and I got one better.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills versus the Chicago Bears.
Ew. I didn't think about that.
You have two playoff issue franchises. I can't think of the word right now. You have Josh Allen, who everybody likes. There's not a soul that even New England Patriots fans like Josh Allen. Like, everybody adores Josh Allen. And then you have the Chicago Bears, who in many ways last year, I'm going to get a lot of hate from my friends right now, but in a lot of ways became kind of like very lovable last year with their cardiac games and everything else. Caleb Williams is polarizing enough. He, for lack of a better term, relates to the younger generations. I think you have the big city in Chicago. You have Buffalo, who is a small market team, but still out of New York. So you still have the New York thing, and you still have two major franchises that could really, it would be like the Cubs and the Indians or the Guardians or whatever, the Cubs and Guardians in the World Series, that like you have two franchises hopes in like that if it was a great game, it would, just like that World Series, would just be magic. Just magic. It would be. It would be. I can't think of a I can't think of a better Super Bowl. I think Buffalo and Chicago is the best Super Bowl matchup looking at this of actual teams that can make it. I want to point that out. Of actual teams, like not just tell me a better Super Bowl.
I'm gonna see, because that's the thing though. In terms of in terms of teams with an actual shot, I actually kind of agree with you. But if we're talking like just on an entertainment value perspective, I think Roger Goodell would literally like lose his ever loved mind if he got a New England Patriots Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl.
I would say that if Drake May did play like a toddler in this last Super Bowl.
Even true, but even still, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of like he's going to recover from that, and he's going to have another big year. I'm looking at it from sheer entertainment perspective. When you look at the team who was referred to as America's team of the '90s, and then you have the New England Patriots, who are America's team basically of the 21st century. I don't know. There's just something. There's something about this matchup that would just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like from a ratings perspective, I don't think there's a bigger ratings getter than the New England Patriots and the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but I think I would agree with you on the ratings thing, on the pure entertainment value. I like the story better with Buffalo and Chicago. I look at entertainment as the storylines. What are the storylines? And that would be my, like, what would if I take out my fandom of New England as a Patriots fan, what's going to really pull me into there's a good amount there. Even though Dallas is the Cowboys, they've been so bad for so long, playoff wise.
Yeah, but it's like they finally catch that lightning in the bottle, and then they get back, and then the New England Patriots reestablishing themselves as the franchise of the AFC if they was to get back to a second straight Super Bowl. Like this would, there's storylines to that. I'm trying to think of another one. I think at this point you have to look at like possible rematches at this point.
Buffalo versus Dallas.
Ooh. I was getting ready to say rematches.
America's team versus North America's team. I want my revenge from the Super Bowls that you've cost me.
Yeah, because there are still rematches.
Yeah. And
that ain't the only rematch. That's not the only rematch. There are rematches to be had.
Two guys who couldn't get over the hump. Dak Prescott, Josh Allen. Dallas is going to draw ratings on them being them alone. Buffalo is going to draw ratings because of Josh Allen. It may be the highest rated Super Bowl in history if that happens. Dallas versus Buffalo. And if you really, really look at it, they have the capability in order to match up. And if you really look at the Dynasty team, on paper, they was evenly matched. In fact, on paper, Buffalo was better. They have more Hall of Famers on the offensive side of the ball than the Dallas Cowboys. Remember, James Lofton, Hall of Fame. Andre Reed, Hall of Fame. Thurman Thomas, Hall of Fame. Jim Kelly, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but you got Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Larry Allen.
The offensive line is what set Dallas apart from like everybody else.
Yeah, I love Moose Johnson. I hate he hurt his neck like he did.
I know.
Yeah, that freaking sucks. So
I'm trying to think about other matchups as far as like teams that would like be good on an entertainment level. What about a Super Bowl 32 rematch? Denver and Green Bay.
I would rather see Buffalo and Green Bay. I know I'm on the Buffalo thing. I just think Josh Allen's so likable. Him on the national stage like that would be.
Plus, you have all the Josh Allen stands. Plus, you have all the Josh Allen stands coming out of woodwork. Especially if, imagine this. Imagine they meet Lamar and Josh Allen meeting the NFC in the AFC Championship. He beats Lamar Jackson. Can you imagine the stands that are going to be on? Can you imagine that?
And everybody loves his wife. Like, I don't blame him. By the way, I know he didn't like win anything, but dude's winning at life. Can I just say, You're 6'4", 6'5". You're a star quarterback in the NFL, and you got married to Haley Steinfeld. And as long as we don't think that it's Michael B. Jordan's kid. Let's just Josh
Sinners was a great movie. Sinners was a great movie.
It's in my playlist. I have to watch that. That's a weekend without hockey. This is a weekend. It's a yeah. So, Josh Allen, you are winning at life, pending the birth of your child. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's all jokes.
Hey, Dak just won too. Hell, you get somebody off your roster.
Boy, I saw that story.
He
didn't.
Bravo.
He's an idiot.
Bravo, Dak Prescott.
You didn't do the Travis Hunter thing. No.
Bravo, Dak Prescott. You pulled the litmus test out. She failed. Gotta go.
Sir.
Bravo. Bravo.
I want to say bravo to Josh Allen as because you're living every man's dream, and then also bravo to Dak Prescott for being a king. You walk away, king. Smart move.
Yeah, don't give nobody a chance to touch that 300 million because you gonna get another contract.
Exactly.
You gonna get another.
Exactly. It's not like you're not in your early 30s and you're gonna get another deal.
Yeah. So you're not finna see if you leave, you get the hell on. Hey, in the great words of the world famous Ricky Rose, bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym, so
you would, and I know your nickname. You would say that song.
Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
Oh gosh, that's perfect.
Oh, look, if you want me to, I can go my cousin style. My cousin Richard Pryor. You know what he told his ex-wife at court, right? You know what he told his ex-wife at court? He told her, bitch, you ain't told now, Joe. So that's what he told her.
Lord.
So I mean, hey, big ups to Dak Prescott, man. Hey, man, look, either sign this prenup or no wedding. You don't want to sign the prenup, so I mean, you must be in it for the money. Yeah, so if people are gonna sit around here, well, why would you go into a marriage thinking that it's gonna fail? Oh, I don't think it's gonna fail. Just in case it do, you might be scheming, because there's a common denominator with all of these wags. All of a sudden, when they get to the league, when they get to the league, wives and the girlfriend.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they get to the league, when they marry these football players, these basketball players, they get pregnant damn near immediately. I mean, it's just like you turn your head, damn, she pregnant. So it's just like, no, either you sign the prenup, or now she's gonna get child support, but of course, we saw what Anthony Edwards did. He signed $1 million for a lifetime of child support, just gave it up, and did it from there. I don't think Dak Prescott would do that, considering how much he's around his kids. But I mean, he does have that option. But yeah, I admire anybody. Look, God bless me in order to come down here and throw a football on this field and make millions and millions of dollars. I'm valued at almost $350 million. Do you really think I'm finna let you come into this place without any type of prenup? Hell no. And I don't blame anybody. And for anybody who's gonna sit around here and bash him, talking about, well, you shouldn't go into a situation thinking it's gonna fail. Hey, I didn't go into school thinking I was gonna fail either. But just in case, I already had a job.
You got to have all them angles covered at all times.
And this goes for all the female entertainers and shit like that too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. This goes for Caitlin Clark. This goes for fucking Taylor Swift. This goes for all of you. You protect your bag.
Yeah. Angel Reese, all of you protect that bag.
All of y'all protect.
Don't let nobody come. Hey, don't let nobody Kevin Federline you.
No.
Oof.
Don't let nobody Kevin Federline you. Ladies, that's for you. Don't let nobody come in and Kevin Federline you. So I mean, and if you don't know, look up what happened with Britney Spears and Kevin Federline. If you don't know what happened, don't let nobody Kevin Federline you.
The most undeserving rich man of all of rich men.
Exactly. It's just, yeah. I don't. Yeah. But anyway, real quick, is the Raiders on track to be a wild card team at this point? Like a 9-8 wild card. We're not telling them that, we're not saying that they're gonna, make any noise, but especially considering the coaches, considering the moves, considering they have some cornerstones and they have 2 first-round picks. They're more than likely going to draft Fernando Mendoza, and they have the offensive line, they have the defense, they have the running game, they have a little pacifier there as far as Brock Bowers is concerned. Are they on track to be a wild card team?
No. But the AFC is so bad, but and KFC's, if they're really done next year, you really only got to contend. I don't trust the Chargers at all. I just don't. You only really got to contend with Denver. And honestly, Denver's got its own fucking drama going on. Sean Payton sounds like a raging asshole constantly. And there's talk about, there was like rumors of him trading Bo Nix or something. I don't know what the fuck.
What?
Yeah, there was
they've been at each other's throats because,
Yep.
Hey, Drew Brees, to his credit, did a great job of keeping stuff kind of under wraps when it came to New Orleans because Drew Brees was a consummate professional.
Bo Nix will tell that man off. That's what I've noticed about Bo Nix. He'll let him know.
He will curse his ass out and don't give a damn who watching. So I'm just being real. I've never seen, outside of Stone Cold Steve Austin, I ain't never seen nobody curse out their damn boss like that on national television. Like, he's coming out of here saying one word sentence. If he come back, but Drew Brees told him, hey, Sean Payton is very, very demanding. You have to be demanding right along with him. But to Drew Brees' credit, he didn't do that in public. He let that be behind closed doors. But you know what? That's a video right there. That is a video. That is really a video. Outside of Drew Brees, is the time to acknowledge that Sean Payton is kind of, although he's a good coach, is a problem when it comes to quarterbacks and when it comes to managing guys like that. Because we saw the beef that he had with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, but everybody's got beef with Russell Wilson except for Russell Wilson.
Well,
and his wife.
Yeah, but hey, man, if I married Sierra and, I had my own square circle, if I was tapping that every night, I wouldn't give a damn what anybody said about me.
Oh, I wouldn't either. I'm just saying. I think the Sean Payton thing is a legit question. I do.
Yeah, because and the thing is, with Russell Wilson, he just sucked it up and never said anything about it.
I would have completely understood Russell Wilson's frustration either. It's like, oh well, they come out as like, oh well, we don't want to give you like this injury incentive or whatever, so we're just gonna sit you. Oh, like you gonna blow the playoff just because of that? Oh,
yeah,
have at it. Have at it. You want to blow the playoff because of that? Have at it. Okay,
but you're gonna give me my damn money.
You're gonna give me my money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, yeah. You want to blow the playoff just because you want to give me some incentives?
Go ahead, put yourself in cap hell.
That's you. That's you.
But you're gonna give me my damn money.
That's you.
But it's kind of acknowledged a lot of conversations because for you to be all up your young quarterback's ass like that, and he has to come out and refute certain informations that you have personally said, it's kind of like, okay, was there more Drew Brees than you at this point? Because it's like Drew Brees was the consummate professional. He kept things under wraps. But at the same time, like I stated earlier, he told Bo Nix himself that Sean Payton was very, very demanding. You have to be just as demanding with him back.
I don't think sitting here and saying it was all Drew Brees. I mean, they were a play away from going back to a Super Bowl with honestly, I mean, Bo Nix he was good, but he wasn't like, he wasn't great. He wasn't, so I don't, to say it was all Drew Brees that's a little far.
I'm talking about as far as the relationship goes. As far
Oh,
as
that made it
keeping
work.
everything,
Oh, then
yeah,
yes,
keeping
then
everything professional, keeping everything close to the chest, making
yes.
sure things don't leak out to the media. Make sure that although you are in a small market, that you're seen as a consummate professional. Because outside of maybe one thing, you didn't hear a peep out of Drew Brees outside of the controversy that he said about World War II, but that was about it. But that was about it. Um, he really kept everything close to the chest. And as you see things that are going along at this point, you got to ask yourself, as far as the relationship goes, was that all Drew Brees saying, "Let me keep everything close to the chest so that we can continue to win," rather than just be an asshole like I know I can, being the quarterback that I am, and hey, so got to ask yourself that. But as far as the Raiders, I think they could be a 9-8 type of team, but I don't think it's going to go any further than that. If they win 10 games, I'll be damn near surprised. But they have the personnel outside of what they have drafted, by the way, because the draft is coming up. They have the personnel in order to be a wild card team. And last but not least, who is your sleeper offseason winner? Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
Cowboys.
that was my. That's why I said them earlier. Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys. They went and got Rashad Gary. He's not a needle mover, but he's competent. Quentin Williams is good. Kenny Clark is good. You have a lot. They still have they still have a top pick in this year's draft. They still have their first two first round picks in this draft. So it's going to be interesting to see what they have because you can rest assured not everybody that is predicted to go high is going to go high. And if they're able to get Liston or Caleb Downs or one of those guys like that, that will be interesting for the Dallas Cowboys in order to get. They avoided all the drama and they already franchise tagged George Pickens. They've restructured a lot of the contracts and they've just gone after it. So don't be surprised if they end up with Trey Hendrickson. If they end up with Trey Hendrickson along with Rashad Gary, I think that they can make some noise in that division. But I really have to say the Cowboys because there's been no drama, all action. That's the thing that I would give Jerry Jones. But what says you guys?
I mentioned them earlier. I love what they've done so far in the offseason. They are making that Parsons trade work, which is the thing that I kind of said last year or in the offseason last year was if they take what they get and they turn it into something. And so far, what they're doing in rebuilding that team and that defense, they're making a more well-rounded defense. If you go and add Trey Hendrickson along with Rashawn Gary, now you have something So I love what they're doing. I mean, from a player standpoint, keeping George Pickens, even though it's under the franchise tag, which the players never had, but you keep George Pickens, who was unbelievable last year. And again, I will point this out: they are a pretty good drafting franchise. They're not on the level of maybe like a Seattle, Baltimore, or whatever, but they're a good drafting franchise. I would say good, so we are, I'm going to make a prediction right now. The Dallas Cowboys win the NFC East next year. That's my prediction. So I like what they're doing right
now. Sleeper offseason winner. I mentioned them earlier. I'm gonna give the Tennessee Titans a little bit of love here for what they've been able to do in the offseason. I'm gonna give them. I mean, they get two corners and they got two corners and a Cordell Flott and Alontae Taylor. They signed Wan'Dale Robinson, who I think was an underrated receiver for the Giants. They signed Daniel Bellinger, tight end from the Giants. I think the one that stands out for me, they signed John Franklin Myers, the defensive tackle from with Denver. They signed him, and Jeffrey Simmons is going to be a problem for opposing offenses next year. They're going to be a problem, and like I said, Wan'Dale Robinson I think comes in, becomes the de facto one from Cam Ward. Cam Ward finally has a guy who can go over the top with, because Cam Ward, for as bad as it looks as far as like his statistics and how he looked last season, some of the throw, like that arm talent, is not to be messed with. Like some of the throws he was making last season were just insane as far as like the degree of arm talent that he was displaying on a week in, week out basis. So I'm gonna just like for like an actual sleeper off season winner, I'm gonna go Tennessee Titans. I like what they did, and they had a lot of cap. They had a lot of cap space anyway. But I like what they were able to do with it, and the players they were able to snag up. So I'm gonna go Tennessee.
Okay. And I can't leave without asking you this question. And it looks like the same thing. Yeah, don't look like he going nowhere. I gotta ask y'all this question, man. What do y'all think about WrestleMania, the road to WrestleMania thus far at this point in time? I've been hearing a lot of complaints online, a lot of things here and there, but I'd love to know what you guys think. I know you've been watching BRF, not sure about you, Flash, but I think it's okay. That's the headline that needs to happen if you really want me to be honest.
I think the WWE in terms of like their the two major men's and the two women's, they got exactly what they wanted. I think they got exactly what they wanted. Like you have Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. You have CM Punk, Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight title. You have Jade and Rhea for the WWE Women's title. You have Liv and Stephanie for the Women's World Championship. I think they got what they wanted with all four main titles. The build is kind of like meh up to this point, but I hope they kick it into high gear after Elimination Chamber because there are angles there that they can really like turn the heat up. But I mean, I think there's still meat on the bone as far as like some of these angles. So yeah, I hope that it picks up because God, I hope WrestleMania 42 is better than 41 because 41 was like lackluster to say the least. So we'll see where it goes.
I love the Reigns Punk thing. I like Cody and Randy. One of them is going to turn heel, and I know everybody's going to want Cody. It ain't going to be Cody, but it's going to be hard to not do it. It's going to be hard to turn Randy heel right now. I like the Cody Randy thing. You have to do it now, anyways. Let them cook in promos, especially Cody. Cody can be a tweener. Cody's done it before in this run that he's had, where he's kind of the tweener. I love Liv and Steph. I will say this: Liv is in the top 3 of the most entertaining things they have on TV right now. Her character work, and I mean, it's just phenomenal. Like she is that it girl, and I'm not even talking about just her looks, but just what she does as a character and everything else. When she's on, you just watch her. I know they're trying to give Jade and I think they're going to put her over on Rhea.
I don't.
They need to get to her and Bianca, and Bianca's hurt. And so I think and she needs the win more than Rhea does at WrestleMania. So I just don't think Jade's that good. I think she's gotten better. I just don't think she's that good. I think if you look at her on paper, she's like Shaq, but just no talent. Like she should have a lot more talent than she does, and she just doesn't. I think that wrestling fans have become so toxic in general. Like they're on the level of like Star Wars fans at this point. They bitched when Roman was the champion, and then as soon as Roman lost it and they threw it on Cody, they bitched about that too. Then they weren't happy because, and then now they hate Cody, but they were crying because The Rock was going to take Cody's spot, and they were crying about that. And now they're mad because Cody's been, he's basically. There's a guy that I follow. I can't remember his name on TikTok, but he goes, the new generation or this generation of wrestling fans or how they are, they would never have survived the Super Cena era. They would have just lost their ever-loving minds. They're not happy. They were screaming for Jey Uso to get the title. He gets the title. Then they hated it. Like they are exactly like when a woman says, "I want a nice guy," and she keeps picking the asshole. Like that's what wrestling fans are. And it's mostly men, mind you. So I'm not like ragging on women when I say that. I'm literally that's the 98% of that is men complaining and crying online constantly, mind you, about a predetermined show. I'm not trying to say something to get my ass whipped, but at this point, who cares? Like they have everything on Unreal anyways. But I just. Everything is complaining. Everything is whining. Every storyline sucks. You know, they complained when Vince was in charge, and now they're complaining that Triple H is in charge. Like I wrestling fans have made. Now, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of flaws in what WWE does. They're there, but fuck everything they do wrong. I think they completely fumbled Danhausen's debut. And they turned that into something amazing. They took what happened at Elimination Chamber, turned it into a joke, and made one of the best debut segments on a Raw or SmackDown ever. So well done. So, like, the Danhausen thing is hilarious. It's gold. So, let's just see what happens. Can we see what happens first before we, like, last year's WrestleMania sucked. It did. It wasn't that good. Cena and Rhodes was bad. It was a bad matchup. I know what Cena was trying to do as a storyline, but it just didn't work. The Rock wasn't involved, so it
basically bottomed out without The Rock. It bottomed out. There's no end game. There was no end game.
No,
at least
the whole thing.
Because if The Rock stays around, at least you ultimately have an end game, because you could say, is Cena really doing this on his own, or is this The Rock calling the shots?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's kind of my thing. And Cena alludes to that after he retired and did a sit-down interview. He alluded to, like, we had something, but when people don't show up, you can't do it. Mm-hmm. So I think everybody talks about Cody's run as champion has been bland and boring. I don't think that's his fault. I think they've had to pivot so much with the Cena thing and then the Rock thing. Like, I don't know. Let's just wait and see. I thought Elimination Chamber I thought the two matches were pretty decent. They were okay. I mean, everything great, but they were okay.
The women's was better.
Honestly, consistently at the top level, the men are being outperformed by the women. Actually, when it comes to big time pay-per-view like matches, like going back to last year, the women's Elimination Chamber last year was better.
Yeah, it was.
Their Money in the Bank matches are on par or better. They botch a little less than the men do. I think that if you want to complain about anything, I think getting rid of the house shows is one of the biggest problems and biggest mistakes they've done.
You're taking reps away.
Yep, you're taking reps away. I think, don't get me wrong, I appreciate what they're trying to do when it comes to wellness, but they're taking reps away, and that's why you're seeing a sloppy. Like, I watch wrestling now, and I'm like, everything looks like it's just super kicks and really highly choreographed dances. And it doesn't look like a wrestling match to me anymore. And I think that's my biggest complaint. But let's see. Let's see what happens. We got a long ways to go still. We still got like a month.
All right.
Yeah.
On that note, man, look, we ain't got to go home, but we got to get the hell out of here, man. Hell of a show today, man. Shout out to my co-host, my co-owners here, man. Back here bringing the flair, man. We will see y'all next Monday. Anything that you guys need to add at this moment of time? Anything before we sign off?
Nope, the weather's starting to warm up. Just start enjoying the warm weather up here in general, and just everything going on in the world, and just hunker down because it's going to be a show.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, just because it's definitely starting to warm up down here in Georgia. Just don't take nothing for granted, people. Just live day for day. Don't take nothing for granted. Appreciate the people that you got around you. Appreciate and take advantage of any opportunities that come your way. And just continue to live your life, have fun. Regardless of what's going on in the world today, you can't prevent yourself from being able to live your life and going out to enjoy things just because things might not be what you wanted to be. Keep living life, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I say this all the time because, like, I'm a believer myself. You only get one chance. You only get one chance to make a first impression on earth, so you got to keep making the most out of life. So, yeah, everybody keep doing your thing. We love each and every one of y'all. Appreciate the support. Like, subscribe to our podcast. Keep coming back for some of the better quality stuff you're going to see on a weekly basis, because, I mean, that's just what we do. So, shout out to everybody, man. Appreciate the support. We're going to keep it popping.
Yes, indeed. And on that note, we are out. Hey, appreciate all the movement. Shout out to Sports PSP and Dwayne. Thank you for all that support the movement. And I can honestly say, hell of a TV show, hell of a show tonight. We are out. We ain't got to go home, but we got to get the hell out of here. It is that time. And one more thing, ladies, it's springtime. Bring back sundress season before it get too damn hot. We missed it last year. And on that note, I will end it. Holler at a player when you see me in the streets.